Hello friends. What happens when the unpredictable meets the emotional? When the wind of Aquarius blows straight into the oceanic heart of Cancer? It's the classic meeting of air and water, two elements that can either create misty magic or stormy confusion. The love story between an Aquarius man and a Cancer woman is a paradox wrapped in cosmic poetry. Intellect meets intuition, rebellion meets romance, logic meets feeling. Yet somehow, when these two souls find each other, something undeniably magnetic happens. Let's unfold this story and see what really lies beneath their celestial chemistry. After watching, if you'd like to support the channel, click the Thanks button right under this video or use the donation alerts link in the description. Your support really helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's continue. Chemistry. Initial attraction. At first glance, the Aquarius man is the kind of figure who lingers in the periphery of your vision long after he's gone. There's an unmistakable quality about him, something that can't be captured in a single word or glance. His presence feels like a question that refuses to be answered, a puzzle wrapped in a smile, a contradiction wearing the clothes of calm certainty. His eyes, often distant yet piercing, seem to contain both galaxies of curiosity and oceans of solitude. When he looks at someone, it isn't a glance, it's an inquiry. It's as though he's searching for a spark of truth, something unspoken, something rare. He is charming, yes, but not in the rehearsed, polished way that often passes for charisma. His charm lies in authenticity. He speaks his mind without the need for approval, laughs at ideas rather than people, and seems detached yet deeply aware. People orbit around his presence, drawn not by promises of affection but by the magnetic unpredictability of someone who refuses to be ordinary. His eccentricities, his late-night obsessions with obscure documentaries, his fascination with space, his disregard for social conventions, only enhance the intrigue. To the Cancer woman, whose world revolves around emotional nuance, this man feels like a living paradox, simultaneously near and unreachable. She, on the other hand, is warmth incarnate. There's something deeply soothing about her presence, a gentleness that settles the air around her like a soft melody. The Cancer woman doesn't need to demand attention. She commands it naturally, through kindness, empathy, and an aura of quiet mystery. Her intuition works like a sixth sense. She reads moods, hears what isn't said, and feels what others suppress. While others may view her as fragile because of her sensitivity, those who truly know her understand that beneath her tenderness lies a spine of steel. She is emotional but not weak, nurturing but not naive, loving but not blind. When these two meet, it's curiosity that binds them before anything else. The Aquarius man is captivated by the serenity she carries, the way she listens without judgment, the way her eyes seem to hold stories she hasn't told yet. For someone who lives mostly in the realm of ideas and theories, the Cancer woman feels like the missing link between thought and feeling, logic and soul. Her emotional intelligence fascinates him because it operates in a language he doesn't yet understand. For the Cancer woman, his presence is electrifying. He is different from anyone she has encountered, unfiltered, independent, and fearlessly himself. While others might find his detachment intimidating or his intellect overwhelming, she finds it intriguing. He awakens her curiosity, not just about him, but about herself. She wonders, what would it be like to live in his world, to see through his eyes, to understand life without being ruled by emotion? He becomes a mirror that challenges her comfort zone, reflecting back parts of her nature she's never questioned before. Their first conversation feels like a spark hitting oxygen. He speaks in long, winding sentences filled with abstractions, philosophy, humanity, the universe, the patterns of time. She listens with her heart as much as her mind, responding with stories, feelings, memories. It's as though two completely different instruments begin playing separate melodies, only to discover they're in the same key. He offers her new ways of thinking, she offers him new ways of feeling. The balance is imperfect, but the imperfection itself feels alive. There's undeniable friction between them, yet it's the kind that draws rather than divides. His logical reasoning occasionally brushes against her emotional sensitivity, creating moments of tension where neither knows quite how to proceed. And yet, every disagreement becomes another thread in the tapestry of their attraction. He begins to see beauty in her vulnerability, the courage it takes to feel so deeply. She begins to appreciate his detachment, not as coldness, but as another form of strength, a kind of emotional self-control she's always admired but never mastered. The Aquarius man, for perhaps the first time, feels truly seen. Not for what he knows or accomplishes, but for who he is beneath the layers of intellect and irony. The Cancer woman, for perhaps the first time, feels understood, not just as a caretaker or a listener, but as a soul with depth, mystery, and unspoken desires. They begin to communicate in a rhythm that transcends words, a glance that lingers, a laugh that bridges their worlds, a silence that feels like understanding. And yet, beneath all this fascination lies the silent question that defines their chemistry: can freedom and security coexist? The Aquarius man thrives on independence, he needs space like others need air. The Cancer woman thrives on emotional closeness, she needs connection to feel alive. Their love, in its earliest form, is a dance of distance and closeness, of giving and retreating. He floats like air, she flows like water. If he moves too far, she risks feeling abandoned. If she holds too tightly, he risks feeling trapped. But when they find that fragile balance, when her ocean embraces his wind just enough to create waves without drowning, it becomes magic. This connection is not one of instant understanding but of mutual evolution. Each encounter between them subtly changes the other. The Aquarius man begins to notice the poetry hidden in emotion, the way a glance can speak louder than an argument. The Cancer woman starts to grasp the beauty of intellectual detachment, the way stepping back can reveal a larger truth. Their attraction deepens not through sameness, but through contrast. Every meeting between them feels like the continuation of a story that started long before they met. Their energies intertwine in ways neither can explain. She brings emotion to his reason, he brings reason to her emotion. It's not a perfect match, it's an alchemy, unpredictable and rare. And in that alchemy lies their first test, whether they can honor each other's differences without trying to change them. As the days pass, their curiosity evolves into fascination. The Aquarius man finds himself drawn to her quiet routines, the way she makes her morning coffee, the way she waters her plants, the way she finds meaning in small gestures. He begins to feel something unfamiliar, a desire to belong. Meanwhile, the Cancer woman finds herself craving his intellectual world, the thrill of his ideas, the way he questions everything, the way he turns ordinary moments into philosophical debates. She feels alive in his presence, like her heart and mind are expanding in unison. In this early stage of attraction, both are standing at the threshold of transformation. Neither fully understands the other, yet both sense that something extraordinary is unfolding. Their chemistry is not born of similarity but of polarity. It's not a fire that burns quickly, but a current that builds strength over time, charged, unpredictable, and undeniably real. Their story begins not with certainty but with wonder. And perhaps that's why it's so compelling. For in the space between his logic and her emotion, between his freedom and her devotion, between his air and her water, something timeless is born. The possibility that two completely different souls can meet, collide, and in doing so, discover entirely new versions of themselves. Emotional dynamics. This is where the story of Aquarius man and Cancer woman begins to take on its most complex, most beautiful form, because emotions are not simply something they feel. They are something they navigate, sometimes clumsily, often courageously. The Cancer woman lives within her heart the way others live within a home. She decorates it, protects it, and invites only a few to enter. Her emotions are the tides of her soul, rising and falling with the phases of her inner moon. When she loves entirely, with no half measures, no pretense. Every word, every gesture carries meaning. Her heart is both her compass and her vulnerability, guiding her through the world yet leaving her exposed to its storms. The Aquarius man, by contrast, moves through emotion as if walking across a vast landscape of clouds. He sees beauty in their shapes, contemplates their meaning, but rarely allows himself to drown in their rain. He experiences feeling as a fascinating phenomenon to be studied, not a current to be swept away by. To him, emotion is something to understand, not something to be consumed by. He's ruled by thought, reason, and the unrelenting curiosity of why, while she's ruled by empathy, intuition, and the deep knowing of because it feels right. In the beginning, this difference is subtle. The Cancer woman admires his composure, his ability to stay calm when the world shakes. She finds comfort in his rational steadiness, in the way he can talk her out of her anxieties with words that sound like anchor chains. But over time, she begins to crave something deeper, more emotional resonance, more warmth. She doesn't just want to understand love, she wants to feel it pulse through her every day. The Aquarius man, on the other hand, is mystified by her emotional depth. He is drawn to it, yes, but also daunted by it. It feels like standing at the edge of an ocean he can't see the end of, beautiful, terrifying, endless. When she feels misunderstood, she withdraws quietly, pulling back into her inner sanctuary. To her, retreat is not rejection, it's protection. She needs time to soothe herself, to piece together what was broken, to feel safe again before opening her heart. But to the Aquarius man, this retreat feels like distance, like silence where there should be explanation. His instinct is to analyze the problem, to fix it logically. He'll ask, "What's wrong?" expecting a clear answer. But feelings don't speak in equations, and this is where he falters. Sometimes, he'll respond with calm detachment, trying to reason her out of sadness. "You're overthinking it," he might say, unaware that such words feel like salt to her open wound. His intention isn't cruelty, it's confusion. He believes logic heals, not realizing that some hurts need only understanding, not solutions. And when he grows uncomfortable with emotional intensity, he might retreat too, into his mind, his work, or his ideals. This double withdrawal creates the emotional distance neither of them wanted. But here's where their connection begins to evolve. The Aquarius man, when he decides to listen rather than solve, begins to discover the poetry within her emotions. He starts to see that vulnerability is not weakness but an act of profound courage, to stand emotionally naked in front of someone and say, "This is me." He learns that feeling deeply is not chaos, it's truth in its rawest form. When he listens with his heart instead of his intellect, something within him softens. The cold air of detachment turns into a gentle breeze that carries her closer rather than pushing her away. The Cancer woman, in turn, learns a new kind of strength, the strength to love without clinging, to care without control. She realizes that his need for space isn't an absence of affection, it's his way of maintaining balance. The Aquarius man's emotional rhythm is different from hers, it's slower, quieter, more cerebral, but it's still love, expressed through thoughtfulness, through problem solving, through acts of insight rather than overt affection. When she allows herself to see his care in those small, unspoken gestures, a late-night text checking if she's okay, an article he sends because it reminded him of her, the way he notices her moods even when she says nothing, she begins to understand the language of his heart. Their emotional dynamic becomes a dance of contrasts. He teaches her the art of detachment, not as a wall, but as perspective. He shows her that sometimes stepping back allows love to breathe, to evolve naturally rather than suffocate under the weight of expectation. She, in return, teaches him the art of presence, how to sit in silence without fixing, how to comfort without logic, how to feel without fear. It's not an easy exchange. There are missteps, misunderstandings, and moments when both question whether they can ever truly meet in the middle. But when they do meet, when her waves find rhythm with his wind, it's breathtaking. Their love stops being a battle between heart and mind and becomes a fusion of both. They create a new emotional language, one built on patience, empathy, and evolution. Their conversations shift from, "You don't understand me," to "Teach me how to understand you." He learns to hold space for her tears without analyzing their cause. She learns to give him quiet moments without reading them as disinterest. Together, they learn that love doesn't have to mean constant emotional agreement, it means constant emotional effort. For Cancer, love remains her safe harbor, a place where she can drop anchor and feel secure. For Aquarius, love remains his frontier, a space where he can explore infinite emotional possibilities. Their challenge lies in learning that both can exist within the same ocean. Her harbor doesn't have to cage his sky, and his sky doesn't have to abandon her sea. They are different, yes, but not incompatible. In fact, their differences create balance, like yin and yang, like the ebb and flow of a living tide. Their emotional connection deepens most when they stop trying to redefine each other and instead choose to witness each other. She becomes his emotional translator, helping him decode what lies beneath feelings. He becomes her emotional protector, helping her navigate storms with logic and calm. Their growth as a couple depends not on eliminating differences but on celebrating them, because each has something the other lacks. When she allows his logic to steady her storms, her emotions become clearer, more powerful in their direction. When he allows her emotions to color his logic, his intellect becomes warmer, more human, more compassionate. Together, they reach a rare kind of harmony, where intellect and emotion don't cancel each other but coexist beautifully, like rain meeting wind to form a rainbow. It's a delicate equilibrium that requires constant tending, but when maintained, it glows with quiet brilliance. In the end, their emotional dynamic isn't about choosing between heart and mind, it's about building a bridge strong enough for both to cross. The Cancer woman gives the Aquarius man access to the depths of feeling he's always observed but never truly experienced. The Aquarius man gives the Cancer woman the wings to see her emotions not as prisons but as landscapes to explore. In loving each other, they learn that emotion and reason aren't enemies, they're two halves of the same cosmic truth, teaching each other how to exist, how to love, and how to be whole. Long-term compatibility. Can they make it last? That's the question that lingers like a soft echo between them, the one that neither dares to answer too soon. Because for Aquarius and Cancer, longevity in love isn't a matter of fate or luck. It's a matter of evolution. The stars may sketch the outline, but it's their willingness to grow that paints the masterpiece. The truth is, their long-term compatibility depends not on how similar they are, but on how deeply they can respect and integrate their differences. The Aquarius man values freedom the way most people value air. Without it, he cannot breathe. His mind is constantly stretching toward the horizon, chasing innovation, change, and progress. He resists stagnation in all its forms, whether in career, philosophy, or love. He needs a relationship that expands with him, that allows him to question, to wander, to reinvent himself without judgment. To him, love should be a platform for growth, not a cage built of expectation. His ideal partnership feels like a conversation that never ends, a shared curiosity that evolves with time. The Cancer woman, meanwhile, is the keeper of constancy. She cherishes emotional safety in the sacred routine of connection. Her definition of love is not bound by novelty, but by depth, the comfort of knowing someone will still be there tomorrow, no matter how much the world outside changes. She wants to feel secure, to trust that her partner's heart beats with hers in rhythm, even through silence. For her, commitment is not a constraint, it's a promise, a foundation upon which life can be built. When these two come together in the long run, their opposing instincts can either clash or complement each other in extraordinary ways. If she tries to anchor him too tightly, if her love becomes possessive rather than nurturing, he'll feel suffocated, like a bird asked to live underwater. He may withdraw, quietly and completely, into his world of ideas and independence. But if he drifts too far, if his need for distance begins to feel like disinterest, her intuitive heart will ache. She'll start to question her worth, her place in his life, and the security she so deeply needs will begin to unravel. The secret to their longevity lies in a delicate balance, a dance between holding and letting go. The Aquarius man must come to understand that emotional depth is not a burden but a bridge, that vulnerability does not weaken him but roots him in something real. The Cancer woman, in turn, must learn that love doesn't always mean constant togetherness. Sometimes, giving space is the truest expression of trust. In their best form, they become each other's missing elements. The Aquarius man, with his visionary mind and restless curiosity, teaches her that love can breathe even with open windows. He shows her that security is not always found in predictability. It can also exist in the steady belief that no matter where he roams, he'll always return. The Cancer woman, with her intuition and emotional wisdom, teaches him that love is not just an idea but a living, breathing presence. She shows him that stability doesn't have to mean limitation. It can be the soil that allows his wildest dreams to take root. Over time, their connection matures into something rare, a union that transcends the traditional definitions of romance. The initial spark of attraction deepens into mutual respect. The Aquarius man begins to admire her unwavering loyalty, the quiet strength she possesses beneath her tenderness. He starts to see that her nurturing nature isn't an attempt to control him. It's her way of loving, of building a home not just of walls and warmth, but of trust. And she, in turn, starts to value his independence not as a threat, but as proof of his integrity. She understands that his need for freedom doesn't mean he loves her less, it means he wants to love her without losing himself. Their long-term relationship becomes a testament to balance. She is the emotional anchor, steady, grounded, unwavering. He is the visionary compass, restless, forward-thinking, full of ideas that stretch beyond the horizon. When life's storms come, and they always do, she keeps their bond rooted, reminding him of what truly matters. When the tides of routine threaten to dull her light, he reignites her curiosity, inspiring her to dream beyond the familiar. Together, they create a love that feels like both sanctuary and adventure. But make no mistake, this kind of partnership requires work. The Cancer woman will need to resist the instinct to mother him, to protect him from every emotional wind. The Aquarius man will need to fight his urge to detach when things grow too emotional or too intense. They must communicate constantly, not to control one another, but to synchronize their rhythms. For them, longevity isn't about never fighting, it's about always coming back. The beauty of their long-term compatibility lies in transformation. The Aquarius man, through years of loving her, learns to feel in ways he once found uncomfortable. He begins to cherish the quiet moments, the shared meals, the unspoken support, the simple presence of someone who truly knows him. The Cancer woman, through years of loving him, learns to think in ways she once avoided. She starts to embrace change, to see growth not as a threat to stability but as evidence of life. As they grow older together, their love takes on a deeper rhythm. It shifts from passion to partnership, from curiosity to understanding. They stop trying to define love and instead begin to live it. Their home, whether a physical space or a shared sense of belonging, becomes a fusion of comfort and curiosity, a place where emotion and intellect coexist in peace. In many long-term pairings between these two, the Cancer woman's empathy becomes the anchor that keeps the Aquarius man from drifting too far into abstraction. She reminds him that the world isn't just a concept to study, it's a living, breathing place filled with human hearts. He, in turn, becomes the wind that carries her beyond the shores of familiarity. He helps her see that there is more to life than safety. That risk, too, can be sacred when shared with someone who truly sees you. When this partnership thrives, it becomes something almost poetic. Their love evolves into friendship, then into a soul-level companionship that defies the usual limits of time or label. They don't just live with each other, they live through each other. They become reflections of balance. His intellect softens in her warmth, her emotions sharpen in his clarity. Together, they build a relationship that feels both infinite and intimate. Can they make it last? Yes, if they remember that lasting love is not about perfection, but adaptation. If they keep learning, keep forgiving, keep growing, then what began as a clash of elements, air and water, can become a breathtaking equilibrium. Their love, when matured, feels like a tide guided by the wind, fluid yet free, steady yet evolving. In the end, the Aquarius man and Cancer woman don't just survive the test of time, they redefine what endurance means. Their love proves that opposites not only attract, but, when nurtured with patience and understanding, can become each other's greatest teachers. For them, longevity isn't about staying unchanged, It's about evolving together, again and again, until their differences no longer divide them but complete them. Communication conflict resolution. When an Aquarius man and a Cancer woman attempt to communicate, it's as if two entirely different languages are meeting for the first time, one spoken in logic, the other in feeling. The Aquarius man communicates in the currency of ideas. His words are sharp, measured, and conceptual. His tone often even, detached, yet not unkind. He believes that every misunderstanding can be untangled by reason, that every argument is simply a puzzle waiting for the right solution. In his mind, communication is about clarity. Say what you mean what you say, and keep emotion from muddying the water. The Cancer woman, however, speaks in an entirely different dialect, the dialect of emotion. Her words are textured with tone, silence, and intuition. She listens with her heart more than her ears. For her, communication isn't merely about exchanging information, it's about connection. She believes that if you feel it deeply enough, you can understand it. Where the Aquarius man might talk to explain, she speaks to express. Where he seeks resolution, she seeks resonance. This fundamental difference sets the stage for both fascination and friction. At first, she's enchanted by his eloquence, by the way he can weave ideas effortlessly, by the way he talks about the future as if it's already unfolding before them. His words make her feel like she's seeing the world through a telescope, wider, clearer, infinite. He, in turn, is drawn to her emotional honesty, to the way she communicates not just with words but with presence. When she looks at him, she's really there, listening beyond speech, sensing beyond logic. But as time passes, these differences begin to reveal their sharp edges. When the Cancer woman says, "I feel distant from you," she means she feels unseen, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. She's not accusing him of absence. She's inviting him to notice her inner world. But the Aquarius man, hearing the same words, interprets them literally. He replies, "But we just spent all day together," thinking he's providing evidence that invalidates her concern. To him, facts counter feelings. To her, feelings are the facts. Their conversations sometimes feel like a dance where both partners move beautifully, but to different music. Miscommunication often arises not from lack of love but from the misalignment of meaning. The Aquarius man assumes that logic will build bridges, but logic without empathy can sound like indifference. The Cancer woman assumes that emotion will be understood instinctively, but emotion without articulation can feel confusing to someone who thinks in systems rather than sensations. When she grows silent, he misreads it as withdrawal. When he grows quiet, she perceives rejection. He thinks he's giving her space to calm down. She feels abandoned in her storm. Their conflicts, therefore, are rarely about the content of their arguments. They're about the tone, the timing, and the translation of emotion. She may raise her voice, not in anger, but in intensity, trying to make him feel what she feels. He may shut down, not in arrogance, but in overwhelm, trying to process everything logically before reacting. It's a loop that feeds itself. Her emotion fuels his withdrawal amplifies her emotion. To move beyond this cycle, both must unlearn what they believe communication should be. The Aquarius man must realize that not every emotional expression is a call for correction. Sometimes, when she speaks from the heart, she doesn't want an answer, she wants acknowledgement. When she says, "I'm hurt," she's not asking for an explanation of why she shouldn't be. She's asking him to see her pain, to sit with it, even if it makes him uncomfortable. For someone so used to solving problems with intellect, this is his emotional apprenticeship, learning that silence and empathy can be more powerful than analysis. The Cancer woman, meanwhile, must learn that not every pause is rejection. When he retreats into thought, it doesn't mean he's gone. It means he's processing. His mind works like a vast sky, quiet, expansive, filled with invisible movement. What feels like detachment is often contemplation. If she can resist the urge to fill the silence with assumptions, she'll discover that he always returns, and when he does, it's with insight that adds depth to her feelings rather than diminishing them. Their arguments, when handled with awareness, can evolve into some of their most transformative moments. The Aquarius man brings logic to chaos. The Cancer woman brings compassion to logic. When they learn to blend these, their communication becomes almost alchemical. She begins to phrase her emotions in ways that speak to his intellect. When you do this, I feel unseen, and it affects how safe I feel with you. He, in turn, begins to respond with empathy. I understand you feel hurt, and I want to make sure you know I'm here. The tone shifts, the walls lower. What once sounded like opposition begins to sound like collaboration. Over time, they start to develop a shared language, a unique emotional vocabulary that belongs only to them. Their words become infused with understanding. I need space, he might say, and she no longer hears abandonment. I'm just quiet, he explains, and she knows it's not coldness but calm. I feel disconnected, she confides, and he doesn't rush to fix it but asks, how can I help you feel closer? These are small adjustments, but they carry enormous emotional weight. When they argue, they begin to realize that conflict isn't the enemy. For them, disagreement becomes a way of learning each other more deeply. The Aquarius man, who once feared emotional confrontation, starts to see that emotions are not irrational, they're data of the heart, revealing what logic alone cannot. The Cancer woman, who once took every pause as personal, begins to understand that love can exist even in silence. Their greatest victories in communication come when they stop trying to be right and start trying to be understood. She learns to slow her emotions just enough for him to catch up. He learns to open his logic just enough to let her in. Together, they begin to speak across the air and water divide, meeting somewhere in the mist where intellect and empathy intertwine. When they master this balance, the art of emotional intelligence blended with intellectual empathy, their communication takes on a magical quality. Arguments transform into conversations that end with laughter or quiet recognition. Their silences stop feeling heavy. They become sacred spaces where understanding deepens without a single word. They start to read each other intuitively, not because they've become identical, but because they've learned to translate love into each other's native tongue. For the Aquarius man, communication becomes an act of emotional courage, the willingness to stay present in feeling rather than escape into thought. For the Cancer woman, it becomes an act of trust, the faith that her words and emotions will be received, even if not mirrored perfectly. Together, they build a dialogue that transcends simple conversation. It becomes communion, the meeting of heart and mind, the quiet promise that even when they don't fully understand, they will always keep trying. And in that effort, that sincere, imperfect, beautiful effort, they find the secret to enduring connection. Their words, once tools of misunderstanding, become bridges. Their conflicts, once storms, become cleansing rains. Their love, once divided between head and heart, becomes whole. Physical intimate connection. Their physical chemistry is unlike anything ordinary. It's not the obvious kind that burns fast and fades. It's the kind that hums softly beneath the surface, growing stronger with time, like the vibration of two frequencies learning how to harmonize. Between the Aquarius man and the Cancer woman, touch becomes a language of discovery, curiosity, and quiet transformation. Their intimacy isn't just physical, it's emotional architecture, built slowly and deliberately, through trust, vulnerability, and mutual awakening. The Cancer woman enters the realm of intimacy with warmth that feels like home. Her sensuality isn't loud, it's deep, enveloping, almost maternal in its comfort yet passionately feminine in its allure. She gives herself not in fragments, but in totality, body, soul, emotion intertwined. When she touches, she listens. Her caress is communication, her closeness confession. To her, physical intimacy is sacred. It's the space where hearts speak what words cannot. It's where she nurtures and where she receives, where she feels most connected, most alive. The Aquarius man approaches this space with a completely different rhythm. To him, intimacy is both mystery and science, a place to explore, question, and expand upon. He's not afraid of the unknown, he's intrigued by it, but he doesn't swim in emotion the way she does. He observes it, studies it, wants to understand its mechanics and its magic at the same time. For him, physical closeness is a frontier of curiosity. What happens when two souls collide in both body and thought? What new sensations, ideas, or experiences can be uncovered when love becomes not just passion but experiment? At first, this difference in approach can create a chasm between them. The Cancer woman may find him distant, as though his mind never fully descends into the moment. She seeks emotional immersion, but he seems to hover above it, analyzing rather than surrendering. She might interpret his detachment as indifference, while he may see her emotional intensity as pressure. The rhythm of her heart beats in waves, his in winds. One moves through feeling, the other through thought. But something remarkable begins to unfold when trust starts to bridge that divide. When she realizes his curiosity is not coldness but reverence, his way of worshiping the unknown of her soul, she relaxes. When he discovers that her tenderness is not fragility but strength, the power to hold and to heal, he begins to open. The air and the water find their flow. He stops studying her and starts feeling her. She stops needing him to feel like her and begins to marvel at his unique way of connecting. Their physical connection becomes a kind of education. The Aquarius man introduces spontaneity into their love life. He is full of surprises, unafraid to rewrite the script, to question boundaries, to turn intimacy into adventure. He brings an element of playfulness, sometimes even mischief, an energy that wakes her senses and challenges her comfort zones. Through him, she learns that sensuality doesn't have to follow a pattern. It can be fluid, expressive, unpredictable. He pulls her gently from the shore of the familiar and invites her to swim in uncharted waters. The Cancer woman, in turn, teaches him the depth that spontaneity alone cannot reach. She shows him that intimacy isn't only about discovery, it's about presence. She grounds his experimentation in emotion, in meaning. Through her, he learns the sacred stillness of holding someone not for novelty, but for connection. She teaches him that physical closeness can be spiritual, a merging of souls, not just a meeting of bodies. When she touches him, he feels not just pleasure but belonging, not just desire but understanding. She shows him that in vulnerability lies power, the kind that doesn't dominate but transforms. As they grow closer, their intimacy evolves from contrast to communion. Their union becomes both a sanctuary and a frontier. With her, he learns to surrender control, to allow emotion to flood logic, to let instinct guide intellect. With him, she learns to release fear, to embrace the unknown, to trust that love doesn't lose meaning when it expands beyond tradition. Together, they find that passion exists most vividly where freedom and security meet, not as opposites, but as partners in creation. Their physical connection mirrors their emotional journey, complex, layered, and transformative. Sometimes they clash, the Cancer woman's need for reassurance meeting the Aquarius man's need for space. But these moments of tension carry their own beauty, for every reconciliation deepens their intimacy. Every misunderstanding becomes a doorway to greater empathy. The friction that once divided them becomes the spark that keeps their connection alive. For the Aquarius man, intimacy becomes an act of revelation, each encounter teaching him something new about himself, about her, about the mysterious chemistry between emotion and intellect. He begins to understand that the body can be as eloquent as the mind, that passion doesn't need to be detached to remain meaningful. He learns that when he looks into her eyes during a moment of stillness, he isn't losing his individuality, he's expanding it through connection. For the Cancer woman, physical love with an Aquarius man is a journey toward liberation. She learns that closeness doesn't have to mean control, that passion can coexist with independence. He helps her shed the old fear that love must be clung to in order to survive. With him, she discovers that love, when given freedom, grows even stronger. He turns intimacy into exploration, and she turns exploration into emotional truth. When they reach their equilibrium, their physical bond becomes transcendent. Their bed becomes not just a place of passion, but of revelation, a shared space where emotion and intellect intertwine so completely that boundaries disappear. Their connection is not just skin against skin, but thought against thought, heart against heart. It's poetic in its rhythm, unpredictable in its intensity, spiritual in its afterglow. Sometimes, they'll share moments of quiet connection, hands intertwined in silence, feeling the hum of energy that needs no words. Other times, their intimacy will be wild and liberating, driven by curiosity and imagination. There's no single pattern between them, because their love is constantly evolving, just as they are. What makes their physical connection unforgettable isn't the passion itself, but the transformation it brings. Every touch becomes a lesson. Every embrace, a conversation. Every shared breath, a blending of two worlds, his world of air and reason, hers of water and emotion. In their most intimate moments, the Aquarius man learns to feel, and the Cancer woman learns to let go. Their connection, at its highest form, transcends physicality. It becomes a reflection of the universal dance between mind and heart, freedom and belonging, exploration and surrender. It's not always easy, and it's certainly not conventional, but it is alive. It grows, breathes, and evolves, just like the two souls within it. And when they finally find that rhythm, when her tides meet his winds in perfect harmony, the result is something rare, something lasting. Their intimacy becomes art, their love becomes poetry in motion. And long after the moment passes, its echo remains, soft, eternal, unforgettable. Shared values, life goals. At their deepest core, Aquarius and Cancer share a common longing to make life meaningful. Both are driven by purpose, though their definitions of it differ like air and water. The Aquarius man moves through the world propelled by ideas, innovation, progress, social change. He wants to leave a mark not on a single heart, but on humanity itself. The Cancer woman moves through the world propelled by emotion, connection, care, protection. She wants to leave a mark not on systems, but on souls. And yet, if you strip away their methods, what remains is the same burning desire to contribute, to heal, to create a better world, each in their own way. For the Aquarius man, life is an experiment, an open canvas for invention. He dreams in blueprints, theories, and revolutions. He's the type who looks at what is and asks, but what if it could be different? His value system is built on freedom, fairness, and forward thinking. He fights for causes, defends individuality, and sees humanity as one interconnected organism evolving toward higher consciousness. He values truth over comfort, progress over tradition, and ideas over emotions, not because he doesn't feel, but because he believes feelings should serve the greater good. The Cancer woman, on the other hand, builds her world from the inside out. Her values are rooted in home, loyalty, and empathy. She believes that healing begins not in the world outside, but in the world within. She wants to create safe spaces, whether it's a family, a friendship, or a community, where people feel seen and loved for who they are. Her mission is personal transformation, emotional restoration, and the nurturing of life in its most delicate forms. Where he wants to heal society, she wants to heal hearts. Where he looks outward to the collective, she looks inward to the soul. At first glance, their life goals may seem to move in opposite directions. He wants to travel light, she wants to build roots. He thrives in unpredictability, she blossoms in consistency. He's drawn to change, she to stability. Yet beneath these apparent contradictions lies a fascinating potential for balance, because each has what the other lacks. The Aquarius man's visionary outlook can lift the Cancer woman out of fear and limitation, showing her that safety doesn't have to mean stagnation. The Cancer woman's emotional intelligence can ground the Aquarius man, teaching him that progress without compassion risks losing its humanity. When they begin to truly understand each other's values, their union transforms into something powerful, not just romantic, but purposeful. Imagine him sketching out a humanitarian project, a community initiative, a startup for social change, a new idea to reform education or healthcare, and her standing beside him, giving it emotional texture and human heart. His logic provides the scaffolding, her intuition breathes life into it. He's the architect of the dream, she's the heartbeat that keeps it alive. Together, they can become a couple that blends intellect with emotion, action with empathy, and vision with care. He inspires her to dream bigger, to trust that her nurturing energy can ripple outward to impact more people than she ever imagined. She reminds him that real change starts with compassion, that ideas are only as powerful as the love behind them. In this shared mission, they become partners not just in life but in purpose. However, this harmony doesn't come without challenges. Their lifestyles and rhythms often clash. The Aquarius man is a creature of spontaneity. He thrives on unpredictability, social movements, and bursts of inspiration that might keep him awake at 3 a.m. sketching plans for a better future. He can forget meals, birthdays, or even time itself when he's deep in the current of an idea. The Cancer woman, meanwhile, values ritual and consistency. She finds comfort in routine, in shared dinners, in small daily gestures of love that keep her grounded. When he disappears into thought, she can feel abandoned. When she clings too tightly, he can feel confined. To find balance, they must learn the art of rhythm, to create a shared tempo that respects both movement and stillness. The Cancer woman must allow his freedom without seeing it as rejection. She can learn to trust that even when his body drifts, his loyalty remains. The Aquarius man, in turn, must remember that emotional security isn't a cage, it's the foundation that allows him to soar higher. He must make conscious effort to return, to reassure, to stay emotionally present even while mentally wandering. When they achieve this equilibrium, their home becomes a reflection of both worlds, a sanctuary filled with warmth and imagination. It's a space where candles flicker beside books on quantum physics, where a kitchen filled with laughter coexists with walls covered in sketches of futuristic designs. Their shared home might be both a retreat and a lab, a place of love and of vision, where comfort and curiosity exist side by side. Their shared values continue to evolve as they grow together. Over time, the Cancer woman's empathy begins to influence how he approaches his causes. He starts to infuse his visionary projects with more emotional understanding, to see statistics as stories and data as human lives. She, in turn, begins to think bigger, to see that her compassion doesn't need to stay confined to her immediate circle, it can scale. Through his influence, she learns that nurturing isn't limited to family, it can extend to humanity. As parents, if they choose that path, their partnership takes on an even deeper resonance. He encourages children to question, to innovate, to dream of what could be. She teaches them to care, to listen, to love what is. Their household might feel at times like a clash of worlds, one child building robots in the garage, another writing poems by the window, but at its core, it will be a haven of imagination and emotion, of intellect and affection. They'll teach their children both to think and to feel, to balance the head and the heart, just as they've learned to do with each other. Even in the face of inevitable disagreements about life direction, where to live, how to spend money, how much time to devote to personal pursuits versus family, their shared goal remains the same: to live authentically, meaningfully, and with integrity. The Aquarius man values truth above comfort. The Cancer woman values connection above control. If they stay true to these core truths, they can always find their way back to alignment, even after divergence. Their relationship becomes a living metaphor for balance, his air feeding her water softening his air. He keeps her from becoming overly cautious, she keeps him from drifting too far into abstraction. Together, they remind each other that love and purpose aren't separate paths, they're parallel currents that, when aligned, create extraordinary momentum. When they look toward the future, they see it differently. He envisions possibility, she envisions continuity. Yet, through love, they learn to merge those visions. They build a life where progress doesn't erase tradition, and where tenderness doesn't fear change. Their shared goal isn't perfection, it's evolution. It's a promise to keep growing, to keep learning, to keep loving in new ways, without losing the heart of who they are. And perhaps that's what makes them such a remarkable pair in the long run. The Aquarius man teaches the Cancer woman that security is not a place but a mindset, that true safety lies in embracing change with courage. The Cancer woman teaches the Aquarius man that change without care is hollow, that true innovation comes from empathy. Together, they create a philosophy of living that's both visionary and heartfelt, rooted and revolutionary. In the end, their shared values and life goals aren't about choosing between intellect and emotion, or between personal comfort and social progress. They're about weaving both into a single tapestry, one thread of air, one of water, intertwined in motion and meaning. Their love becomes not just a relationship, but a quiet revolution, proof that when vision and compassion meet, the world, and the people within it, can become something truly extraordinary. Final thoughts. So, can an Aquarius man and Cancer woman truly last? Absolutely, if they both are willing to grow beyond their comfort zones. Their relationship isn't easy, but it's profoundly rewarding. It's the union of sky and sea, logic and emotion, future and past. The Aquarius man learns that love isn't something to understand, it's something to feel. The Cancer woman learns that love isn't something to possess, it's something to trust. Together, they create a relationship that defies expectations. Two souls who find harmony in their differences, learning that love isn't about being the same. It's about becoming more together than they could ever be apart. So, when the wind meets the tide, and the stars align just right, Aquarius and Cancer can write a love story that's not just emotional or intellectual, but cosmic.